I've often wondered why the Pith helmet is not more popular than it is. The lowly Pith helmet, popular in the old jungle movies. If you go back and find an old Tarzan or a Jungle Jim movie, you'll find these. All the Moana types always wore the Pith helmets. Well, I've always been a fan of the Pith helmets, and the first one I found was this one right here. I got it from a place called the Village Hat Shop in San Diego, and no, I'm not getting a free hat for it. This is not a commercial for Village Hat Shop. It just happens to be a place I found that you can get the original type, or the authentic type rather. They're actually made from pith, which comes from a plant that grows in the Philippines, North Vietnam, Malaysia, India, that area of the world. And it's a waterborne plant, and it grows in the swampy areas of those places I just mentioned. And the plant is about, the stems or trunks are about this big around. Right in the very center, there's an area of the pith, which is like a white, milky, spongy substance. When they cut the plants and they extract the pith, it's a spongy stuff, and they process it, and it's very malleable, and they can make it shape to almost any shape. In fact, over in India, there's a whole group of artisans that after the substance dries, they carve it into various little objects of art, and it's referred to as the white ivory after it dries. Well, anyway, that same substance is used to make the pith helmet. This is it's very lightweight, and this thickness here is actually, I've measured it, it's 0.39 inches, almost, half inch, but it's light as a feather. And it has about the same insulation properties as styrofoam, except it's a natural product. So what's not to like about that? And the first one I bought was this one. It's the India style pith helmet. It has more of a higher rounded dome, and at that time I didn't really notice that they had this other version over here. It's called the French pith helmet, and it was used in Vietnam when the French were in French Indochina, which later became Vietnam. And I like it much better than the India version. I just like the look of it better. And when you wear them, they're so comfortable in the hot sun. They're good for a desert or jungle environment. You name it, anywhere the sun is beaming down and there's high humidity and sun, you just can't beat it. I got the green color on this one, and I hadn't really noticed any difference that the light color would make. You would think that this light color probably would reflect more sunlight. Maybe it does, but I haven't really noticed. So anyway, one good feature about the thing is you can wet this whole top and get it soaking, and it doesn't affect the pith underneath it. And as you wear it all during the day, it evaporates and cools. It's like a natural born cooling system. Air conditioning for the head. And not only that, but if you look inside, you'll see it's got a suspension structure. Suspended. It's adjustable size, of course. And the air is able to circulate up and around your head. And get this, it even has a vent in the top where the air comes out the top, in and out. In case you encounter high winds when you're out there in the desert or the jungle, you just simply pull down the chin strap and you're protected. I actually have had it blow off a couple of times. I think it was in the desert, and so I used the chin strap after that happened. And I don't know why these things are not more popular than they are, because I've really discovered them and I really like them. Maybe they look nerdy. Maybe you look like some kind of a weirdo from an old movie, a paleontologist or a biologist in the jungle studying some plant life or animal life, who knows, whatever. Anyway, it's believed that the pith helmets originated in India back in somewhere between 1840 and 1860, and when the British were in India, they found that they needed something more than their regular leather helmets or whatever they wore. So they discovered this, and they are the ones that created this design. I'm not sure what the native Indians had, but the British created this one, but yet it's called an Indian pith helmet. That's the version. And then in Vietnam, when the French were there, they noticed that the NVA, the North Vietnamese Army after World War II, they were called the Viet Minh, M-I-N-H, the Viet Minh. They wore a version of the pith helmet which is similar to this, but it had a more narrow brim around the outside. It was a little more rounded, and it had a red communist star on the front. I think those are really cool. I mean, they're neat looking, the design of them. Not because of the communist star, but because of the overall design. At some point I may get one of those just to try it. Probably take off the communist star. But anyway, just wanted to show you the pith helmets, and I don't understand why they are not more popular, but maybe they will be one day. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, like it and share it, and keep watching. I'll make more.